Before we start this video, if you hear chewing in the background, that is my rabbit. He is chewing on his log. He needs to grind down his teeth, so my apologies. This is the only time I can film, so forgive him for interrupting this video. Today we are talking about my borderline. Now let's talk. This one's a little bit harder for me to talk about. Why? Is because if you've seen my vlogs, if you heard me mention my borderline, unlike schizophrenia where you have particular symptoms like hallucinations, delusions, voices, those are easy to pinpoint and talk to you about and tell you experiences with them. Borderline, on the other hand, is a mix-up of a lot of things mixed together. So, I do have notes right next to me. It's on my computer, actually. I typed them up this time because I'm running out of index cards. Sorry. So if you see me looking around, or looking away, it is only because I'm making sure that I'm remembering what I'm talking about. For those who've not seen me before, this is your first time. I have terrible memory. I have to look down a lot to remind myself what I'm even talking about, because halfway through I can forget. It's that bad. If you are again new, my name is Amanda. I do makeup videos and I do videos such as these about mental health. Let's get started. I'm probably gonna do 2 or 3 videos of borderline, and that's all I really can do. Let's just get started in this. This is something I've been not longing to do. I always tell people if between which disorders would I choose from, would I keep schizophrenia, would I keep borderline, if I had to choose between the two and I don't have a choice, I have to pick one of them, I would choose schizophrenia over my borderline. A lot of people are confused by that probably. Though schizophrenia will possibly make me and render me not myself anymore in the future if I continue down the path of not getting medication, which is, by the way, not by choice. My schizophrenia is a lot nicer to other people than my borderline is. My borderline is very, very cruel to other people. When an episode comes around, when it's anger or depression, I am not nice to people. I try my best to stay away from society when that happens, because things come out of my mouth that I would never say as myself. And I've always talked about how my borderline is like a scary monster, and that's the way I feel. When I'm angry, it could be as something as small as hitting a fly wrong or anything like that, it happens, I say the meanest things possible to destroy that person nearest to me who angered me. And I do not like myself, because normally I'm not like that. I like to believe that I'm a nice person. I try to help people as much as possible. I try to give as much as possible with what I can. So borderline just makes me someone that I'm not, in my opinion. So I actually fear my borderline. When I get angry, I become afraid, because I don't know what can happen next. And I'd rather deal with my schizophrenia than that. So let's get started on describing to you what borderline is. I wrote down the definition because it's hard to describe in my book. Borderline personality disorder is a mental illness marked by an ongoing pattern of varying moods, self-image, and behavior. These symptoms often result in impulsive actions, problems in relationships. People with borderline personality disorder may experience intense episodes of anger, depression, and anxiety can last up to few hours to few days. Not everyone with borderline personality disorder experiences every symptom. Some individuals experience only a few symptoms, while others may experience many of them. Symptoms can be triggered by seemingly ordinary events, as I described, like hitting a fly, you cut the bread wrong, the shower's not hot enough. The severity and the frequency of the symptoms and how long they last will vary depending on individual and their illness. I got this information from nimh.nih.gov. That's where I got the information from about borderline disorder, because again, I really don't know how to really talk about it. If I were to describe it, it would just sound like bipolar, because those two disorders do get mixed up quite often, but they are not the same, I promise you. My symptoms are very, very, very entwined with borderline. A lot of times people just, my therapists say that maybe you're just borderline, but we're not sure. It could take months to years to fully diagnose you with both of them, which is true, because you have to make sure you distinguish the symptoms separately from each other. And I could be schizoaffective, I could not be, I might just be schizophrenic, I could just be borderline. Because schizophrenia also has mood swings with it, just like borderline. It does have a lot of qualities of a lot of disorders, so a lot of times when you're schizophrenic, you actually are diagnosed with other things too, because people are not 100% what schizophrenia is and how it's created and how it started and all that other jazz. So a lot of times when you have schizophrenia, they can say, oh, you also have OCD, you also have bipolar, you also have depression. They can go off on a lot of tangents with it because it takes a lot to distinguish each disorder from each other and peeling them apart. I've been told, if you've seen my doctor videos, that I have paranoid schizophrenia with the possibility of borderline or bipolar, or I could be schizoaffective, or I could have borderline or bipolar with schizophrenic episodes. So, though it's not 100%, the longest doctor I've seen, he said I had paranoid schizophrenia, but at the time we never distinguished the fact that I could also have a personality or a mood disorder, which is borderline is a personality disorder and bipolar is a mood disorder. So clear that out. Now let's actually get talking about. So we're talking about this one. I'm going to talk about majority of what borderline is. Again, I wrote notes to make sure I'm not flipping out or forgetting or going off in a different tangent like I just did. So let's get started. Intense and highly changeable moods that last for hours and 2 days. Oh, let's be honest. Yeah, that happens a lot with me. I could have great weeks where I don't have an episode at all for like 3 weeks or 4 weeks or even a couple of months, and I'll notice them, like I won't have episodes, but Zach will think that I have, like they're close together. Say if I don't have an episode for 3 weeks, he'll say that I had an episode last week because to him it's still fresh, it's still hurtful. He's more focused on the bad things that I've been saying and pulls them closer to him than what I'm seeing, which is, yay, I haven't had an episode in 3 weeks, I'm so happy. They're interchangeable sometimes. That might have happened where I will have a lot of episodes during 1 week, like almost every single day except for 1 day maybe, or I'll have an episode today and I will have one tomorrow, but I'll have the one after that and then not. It can be really random. It could be for the stupidest reasons, and it sucks. Most times I will have episodes because of something Zach does, because we've had a lot of troubles in our relationship in the past, and though we're growing and we're getting better from it, don't worry, we're not gonna get broken or anything like that. Everyone has relationship problems, you just gotta learn to go through them and deal with them with your own ways. Those have caused me to have further issues now about things in the past that my schizophrenia makes me relive. My borderline then works off of that. So my anger, the episodes can go from anger to crying, like sobbing. Like I'll be angry and screaming, threatening, being mean, saying things that I would never say to anyone ever because it's not on my mind ever, to crying my eyes out, and even to saying things of love, like, I love you so much, you're so good at this, and this, and I normally, it can flip-flop from emotion to emotion very in seconds. It's mind-blowing. It kind of throws a lot of people off. It usually lasts for hours. My ones that last for days are usually my depression. My depression will last for days. My sadness will last for days. My emptiness will last for days. So usually those ones last for days, and while my anger and all the other ones, like the hit episodes where they hit you and they to start things, usually last for like hours, and usually happens at night, so it makes sleeping an issue. With these mood swings, borderline people are known for their chronic emptiness. I just call it apathy, and these apathetic episodes for me happen for, they can happen for days. Usually, I think the one I've had the longest was probably 3 or 4 days, and they are just soul-sucking. They take every ambition, every energy, every inspiration, anything, and they just take it away from you. You don't feel anything. You don't feel like you need to do anything. A lot of times I'm just staring, like, Zach will be like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't feel right now. And he'd be like, why don't you watch something? I'm like, I don't want to watch anything. And that's how you become. You don't want to watch anything. You don't want to play games. You don't want to eat. You don't want to shower. You don't want to do anything. You just want to sit. And I call it the apathetic emotions. And those are also scary because anything can happen and you just don't feel. I had them a lot during middle school and high school, and during the time where I was getting my teeth repaired a lot, so a lot of times I'd be laying there and I'd be like not feeling anything. And it doesn't turn off your sensors, by the way. It just when you're in those situations, like you're sitting in the dentist, your panic is there anyways because you think it's gonna hurt. But when you're apathetic, you don't feel anything, so you're not expecting pain. You just don't expect anything. So I don't feel it anyway because I'm usually numbed up, but I also don't have that extra panic, like, oh my god, I'm gonna feel something, and instead you're just like, get it over with, bring it on. They can be good. These apathetic emotions can be good during like bad times, like during trauma, and they're not helping you grieve. So say if your pet died or someone died, and if you were having borderline, all of a sudden you turn into that apathetic thing, which you don't have control over. You're not grieving through the process anymore, you're just going apathetic. So sometimes when you get out of that apathy, your grieving is like 10 times worse than it needs to be. The good times is the breakup times though. I noticed that after some times when I broke up, I went into an apathetic state and I was just like fine. But then again, you get out of it, you're like, what the hell is happening? And you're tweaking out. So another way to describe it is the world becomes gray. That's the way I always described it. Everything feels like it's become, though the color's still there, you feel like there's a sheen of gray over everything. Or when you're walking, everyone's walking a lot slower or faster than you, and you're just caught in between, just walking like you're a zombie in a world full of living people, and you don't want to tell people you're a zombie. The next one is distorted and unstable self-image. Again, I have to look at these to remind myself where I'm going with this. Okay, you guys have heard me before mention in my schizophrenic videos that I was extremely suicidal. I have cuts all along here. Well, not anymore. They're scars. And again, I don't know how to best situate. They're like mostly up here, so it's hard to like aim. Don't know if you can kind of see it. I have scars up here. I had scars down here. A lot of my scars heal. Like I used to have a loan scarred into my arm, and it's mostly gone. Scars are not supposed to heal. I don't know what my body's doing to me. So distorted and unstable self-image or sense of self come in two different ways or a mix of ways. One is you can be very selfish, which a lot of people define borderline as if they're selfish people, because when they get angry, they are trying to hurt you a lot, so they look selfish and they put everything like, you're supposed to do this for me. Is it, they appear selfish. I would like to think that I'm not selfish. During those episodes, yeah, do I become selfish? I do. I'm very mean, but they're during episodes, so I like to distinguish myself away from them. Usually when I'm not during an episode, I'm actually very selfless, and I have to ask Zach all the time, am I a selfish person? He's like, no, you do everything for everyone else. And though I don't think I do, because I always feel like I can do more for the world, and I think a lot of people feel like that anyways. It's just the way borderline is seen, and I think that's a lot of times why psychologists and psychiatrists and therapists don't want to deal with borderline people, other than their anger can be really, really intense. The other one is how I just described, suicide. A lot of people are self-harming themselves. It's another big thing in borderline. Don't do it, guys. Don't ever commit suicide. Don't even try. If you ever get in that dark state, you go find someone to talk to. You find someone. You don't deserve to go through that. You don't deserve to die that way. The way you deserve to pass on is the way any honorable death should be. I always tell myself, if I were to die, I want to die in battle. I want to die with, like the samurais did when they took their own swords and said, this is my time kind of thing. Or I have dishonored something. I want to die doing like that. Something what I see is honorable. But, I'm not fighting war, so. So if you ever think of suicide, please call someone for help. Talk to a friend. Do anything you can to keep from it, because your brain is just trying to beat you down when you need to learn to control yourself over. And I can't say much because I still get suicidal, though I haven't done it in a long time. Impulsive and dangerous behaviors. Oh god, this is gonna be lovely. I'm gonna read them off. You ready for this? Usually these don't occur during mood swings, so if they're happening only during mood swings, that might be a different disorder. I don't know why, but that's what the website just said, which is funny because then I thought about it. I was like, I really don't do that during mood swings. I really just try to get home having a mood swing or a issue. Spending sprees, unsafe sex, substance abuse, reckless driving, and binge eating are a few. I do the spending sprees. I like to spend money a lot, and I shouldn't. I do have control over finances, which is kind of ironic. However, we are learning ways to keep myself from doing it, or keep me from doing it, which is we have a lockbox. We put our money in the lockbox, and he keeps the key, and I hide the lockbox, because he likes to spend money too. So I hide the lockbox, and he hides the keys. So we only unify them whenever we need something. Or if we ever have, like this time when I bought that mystery box, I had the extra money I was allowed to use to do that. So that's how we've been keeping from each other's spending spree. He just likes to buy stuff when he sees it. I like to buy stuff because it makes me feel good. So I don't have a thing about unsafe sex. I always am safe during sex. I do not want to ever go through anything like that. I actually refused to have sex up until I was an adult, just in case there was ever a mistake that would happen. I would be of age to properly handle any decisive things I would need to do. I was very mature about that when I was younger, so. Plus, actually, I was really into girls when I was a teenager, and I still am today, so I wouldn't have had a problem, but that's the way I handled the sex thing. Substance abuse. If there's alcohol that I would drink nearby and everyone else is drinking, I drink a lot of it. I am big into the tropical drinks that taste like not alcohol, so if you put one of those in front of me, I'll drink a lot of it. Luckily for me, I have, I would say I have Scottish/Russian blood, where it takes a lot to kind of get me drunk, and it does. So I just keep drinking, because after a while I like that feeling of feeling nothing. When I'm drinking, at least. I'm usually drinking around people I don't like, so I want to feel that. I'm not addicted to alcohol. When I don't have it around me, I don't think about it. I don't need it. Nothing of it. Just when it is around, when everyone else is drinking, I drink a lot. I consume a lot of it at that time period. I don't drive recklessly at all. I do live in the Atlanta metro area, so traffic around here is dangerous as all hell. It's very, very, very scary driving around here. So I'm very eyeing the roads. And though I vlog in my car a lot, it's because I talk a lot in the car, period. So that's why I vlog in the car. Like, I'll talk to myself if I don't have a camera on me. So it's just a thing that I've always done, but I'm always focused on the road. It might not look like it because it might look like I'm looking at the camera. That's because I'm also looking in that direction. I'm always afraid of getting hit on my right side. Binge eating. I don't think I have binge eating. There are times where I get hungry a lot and I'll eat tons and tons and tons and I won't stop, but I won't eat till I feel sick. It's like I'll pause, then like after half an hour I'll go back to eating a lot, but I've never ate to the point where I binged, like where I felt sick or vomited or anything like that. I've never done that before, but I wouldn't know if that would be the same thing. And then lastly, gambling. That's another thing that's actually not on the list that you should be wary of with basically anyone who has disorders. Gambling I keep away from. I don't like gambling, but I like those coin machines where you put the coins in and they fall down, you might get extra coins. I like those machines. I freak out about them every single time I see them. So I have to be kept away from those machines. Because I'll just keep doing it and I'll spend all the money trying to get more of those freaking coins! The feelings of dissociation, such as feelings of cutting oneself or seeing oneself from the outside's body or feeling unreality. This is probably where this therapist got, say, oh, well, it could be borderline instead of schizophrenia, because you get this kind of with schizophrenia too, where you feel like you're looking at yourself from above almost, you're watching yourself from a distance, and it's called the unreality, whatever you want to call it, or dissociation. You do get this with schizophrenia as well. I probably have described it in a video of my schizophrenia, but it's similar. You feel detached and you're watching yourself a lot. Like if you're in a dream or you're watching yourself do things in your dream. So that happens to me a lot, but I don't know which one to blame it on. Like, is that schizophrenia? Is that your fault? Or is it my borderline? Is that your fault? But it could be a mix of both. So for the sake of making sure this video is not that long, then I'm going to stop here. There's more I could be adding. Hi, how you doing? And I'll get to them more some other day. So I hope that you guys learned a little thing or two about borderline. Again, sorry for looking at that. I only look at it to really remember what I'm talking about, what subject I'm on. So, and to give you the proper words and definitions, because I don't always remember them when I'm on camera. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned a little bit something about borderline personality disorder. I do have it, or I have a mixture of things. Again, it's not 100% because usually it can take years to be diagnosed. And I just don't have the money for that at the time. So I'm just giving you guys the experiences of what I've dealt with so far. I will be doing more delusion videos, and I'll be doing more BPD. If you have any questions on any of them, leave them in the comment bars, and I always try to get you guys' comments. If I don't, it means I don't know what to say to you guys. Don't take them personally. So yeah, I hope you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned to see more mental health videos and make videos, because that's also what my channel is about.